All righty, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Flyers Daily presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Flyers aren't back in action until Saturday. What an absurd break in the schedule after it's been so ram jam to have this break, one game on Saturday and another one not till next Wednesday. And they didn't last played on Monday at home against Nashville. Montreal on Saturday on the road. The Rangers coming up next Wednesday at the Garden. The Flyers will return home for game Saturday, April 12th against the New York Islanders. 12:30 puck drop for that one. Then they'll head to Ottawa for a game. Back home for the home finale on Tuesday, April 15th against Columbus. I'm going to try and be there for that game. And then on Thursday, April 17th, the 2024-25 season will come to its timely conclusion against the Buffalo Sabres at Buffalo. At the Odd. I don't play at the Odd anymore. Nonetheless, Flyers and Sabres will wrap up the season. So just 6 games left. So this episode, we got no game imminent. We have nothing in the can as far as interviews, but we're going to have a couple starting tomorrow. We're going to have Nick Seeler. We're going to have Jamie Drysdale. And hopefully we're going to have Flyers interim head coach Brad Shaw as well to round out this week of Flyers Daily. So look forward to that coming up in the next couple of days. So thought this was a good opportunity today to do a little potpourri episode, a little all over the place. Let's clean out the inbox a little bit in the email. We got some great emails, and also go through some of the comments on the last couple episodes in the comment section on YouTube as well, which we've got a budding community starting to take place over there. A lot of each video, each episode getting more and more comments and commentary. I like that. Keep it going. That's what I want this podcast to be. It's a community. It's not me. It's not just me or Flyers. It's everybody. We're all in this community. Let's talk. Let's disagree. Let's debate. But let's do it all without being nasty. We can do that. I have a lot of faith that we can do that. So potpourri episode. Let's start with the YouTube comments first and foremost, because I thought there was some really interesting ones. Nick Marucci from yesterday's episode, when we were talking about goaltending, what do the Flyers do? He said, what do you think about Dan Vladar? I don't think about Dan Vladar. He is obviously, Dustin Wolf's done a great job out in Calgary. Vladar's gotten 29 games this year. He's got an .895 save percentage. Last couple of years, he had 1 year in Calgary. I think it was his first year there, where he had a .906 save percentage. But other than that, in his now 104 NHL games, he's got an .894 save percentage. I got enough guys giving me .894 save percentage that I don't need another one. Now, he's only 27. He's big. I don't look at him as one of those options where I would say I feel more comfortable going into the season with Dan Vladar than what the Flyers had this past year. We got another one that comes here from I don't even know what his name is, but it's long and it starts with an R. He said, I don't think we need a big goalie move yet. We need a bridge guy that can play 40 to 50% of the games, with Ersson getting the rest. Despite the comment here, I think Jake Allen would absolutely be fine to step into that Brian Elliott-esque role for a middle-of-the-road 2-year contract, while our younger goalies, Bjarnason and Zvragin, progress towards being pros. He said, I like to think we'll be better next year, but still not a playoff team. No need to make a big goalie splash and then drag the guy through this part of the rebuild. Gibson is definitely better. And then his comment just cut off. Definitely better. Yeah, Gibson's better, but he's also more expensive. Gibson makes 6.4, and he's got 2 years remaining on his contract. The guy that was inquired about yesterday was Jordan Binnington, who's got 2 years left on his contract at $6 million per. A guy like Jake Allen, you can get probably for cheaper. I think you do go into I think you go in targeting next year. You don't go for this big goalie move this summer. I don't believe that the strategic decision to make. I think you go into it going, we want to be at least league average goaltending next year. And we want to feel confident that we can be league average goaltending next year by doing 2 things. One, bringing in a guy that you can rely on for 40 to 50 to 52 games maybe. And I do like Jake Allen in that role on a very tenable contract that doesn't tie you up long-term and block any path for Zvragin, Bjarnason, or whoever else coming down the line. That's number one. And then number 2, to do that in tandem with Sam Ersson, and the 2 of them in those specific roles as basically anywhere from 40 to 50 game goaltenders can give you at least league average goaltending. If they can do that, I think they're, pending how other things progress and what's added, obviously, could be a team that could be challenging for a wild card. Can't have goaltending undoing them again next year if they want to move this thing forward, which I believe they do. WGD Joe Frazier says every game left this season is solely to help Matvei Michkov get his Rookie of the Year, win the Calder. He said, forget the playoffs, forget the draft. Full Flyers support should be behind Michkov. Let's get it. Don't let a Hab get that trophy. And he said, I say this knowing full well those voting on it will choose Sidney Hudson over Alex Michkov. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see how that plays out. I don't get caught up in kind of the individual trophies all like that. Would I like them to win it? Sure. I know it's got there's a faction of the fan base right now that I wonder if they're Flyer fans or they're Michkov fans. And you can go, well, if you're a Michkov fan, you're a Flyer fan. Well, I don't know that that's mutually excluded because there's some people saying they need to lose, they need to tank, they need to get in better position, can't win these games, but they also celebrate the successes of Michkov on the ice. And Michkov's been great. He is a big reason why they won the last 3 games. Over his last 6 games, he's got 4 goals, 7 assists, and 11 points. Multi-point games out the wazoo. So if you want Michkov to finish strong and get Rookie of the Year, but you want the team to lose, you can't root for one thing to succeed within the team concept and another to fail. You can do whatever you want, but I think it's asinine. I think it's ridiculous. I want to see Michkov finish strong. This other notion too that, well, since Torts got fired, Michkov has taken off. He's been great. Yeah, he's been good. In the 3 games since Torts has been gone, he has performed extremely well. I mean, you look at the numbers belie that. No doubt about it. The fact is, okay, so the last 3 games since Torts is gone and Brad Shaw's been the interim coach, 3 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points, and a +4. Playing, by the way, his average time on ice, I don't see it here, so we'll have to forget that. So, yeah, he's been great the last 3 games. He's been great prior to that as well, as I brought up before, in the last 7 games where he's got 11 points. But people like to put 2 and 2 together when it's convenient to their narrative. Coming out of the 4 Nations break when John Tortorella was still here, Matvei Michkov in 7 games, 4 goals, 7 assists, and 11 points, and a +5. He's not playing well right now because of the coaching change. He's playing right now because he's a good freaking hockey player. And he's getting better. Has nothing to do with the other. And, we'll get to some comments here that, Torts being the coach cost him the chance to win Rookie of the Year. Totally disagree. David messaged and said, the hell with tanking. I'm over it. This is too much fun. Seeing them win 3 straight games and Michkov performing well. He said, I can't stand being miserable. Totally agree. He said, give me a Flyers win any day. We got Michkov at number 7. So don't get too caught up in draft positioning because it isn't everything. He said, also love the Star Wars reference in yesterday's episode. Happy belated birthday as well. Thank you, David. Julian said, Matvei Michkov wins the Calder by a mile if Torts was never the head coach. He should have been fired after last year's collapse, and I don't want to hear they have no talent. They have more than a lot of these 7-8 seeds past 2 years. Just look at the power play. If it was decent, they make the playoffs also. I don't know if the power play, if they give up too many goals. They couldn't keep the puck out of their net enough. They've struggled scoring at points this year. As far as Michkov winning the Calder by a mile, okay, Michkov right now has had a really good season. Again, 19 into 20-year-old season. Very good. Does he put up in 80 games this year? Does he put up 75 points? I don't think so. I pegged him at 64 points last year. I'm about right on pace. He's got 58 right now. Do you think that because of down usage? I think when he was being used less, it was to his benefit because it helped him. I think if you would have kept plowing him out there when he clearly had no legs, he'd have never got his legs back. And he wouldn't have had that resurgence after 4 Nations where he had 11 points in 7 games. And he wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now in the last 6 or 7 games as well. where he's got 11 points again, because his legs would have been dead and never recovered. So I know it's convenient to point to the coach and think that Torts only coached defense. That's baloney. This team was second in the NHL the year prior in rush scoring off the transition. They were first in the NHL in off the transition chances. They don't preach defense. It was about getting up in offense and moving forward. These narratives that Torts just was coaching a team that sits back there and blocks shots are absolute baloney, and they're not founded in facts. They're just not. Mikey said, "Hey, way to go, Flyers." We come off a guy that says, "Hey, this is too much fun. I'm tired of losing." So this guy goes, "Way to go, Flyers, with these useless wins. Flyers are on their overachieving Les Torts winning streak. This is why they have not won a cup in 50 plus years. It's all about getting real talent in the draft, but these wins are so important. One player on the team, Michkov, is all they have with some talent, offensive talent. His defense sucks. Flyers are the Cleveland Browns of the NFL." Mike, you're being so insanely dramatic. It's incredible. Michkov contradicts your point. He was picked at 7, which is, by the way, where their odds are right now. A guy responded to him, said the Flyers lost last year when they needed to win, and they're now winning when they need to lose. However, I cannot root against them no matter how hard they try and want a better draft pick. They got Michkov at 7. They got Nolan Patrick at number 2 when they got lucky and won the draft and moved up from 13 to 2. How'd that work out? Draft positioning isn't everything. To call the Flyers the Cleveland Browns, again, this has come from David, is an insult. They are far, far from it, and you must be a new fan. Looking at all the finals they've been to, that alone eliminates from the conversation. Be better. Great point. I know the Flyers haven't won a cup in 50 years. I've been alive for all 50 of them. But prior to 2008, no, probably 2012, they had the third highest winning percentage of any team in the NHL from 1967 until then. They were a team that won a lot. They didn't win cups again. They won the back-to-back cups in 74 and 75. They did go to 6 finals. So to say that they're the Cleveland Browns, again, is just not based on reality. Now, let me tell you what they did in the finals, because I have not found a comparable in any major sport. And they win in 74 and 75 back-to-back. They go back to the cup final in 1976. They lose that final against the Montreal Canadiens, who won 4 straight cups. They go back to the finals in 1980. They lose in the cup final, Leon Stickle and all, to the New York Islanders, who won cup number 1 of 4 straight cups, 80, 81, 82, and 83. They go back to the finals in 1985. They lose to the Edmonton Oilers. They go back to the finals in 87. They lose to the Edmonton Oilers, who won 4 cups in 6 years. So Canadian team won 4 straight, dynasty. The New York Islanders, Mike Bossy, Trottier, Denis Potvin, Billy Smith, all those great players, won 4 straight cups, dynasty. Edmonton Oilers team, probably the greatest team I've ever seen, maybe that's ever been in the NHL. With Gretzky, Messier, Curry, all of them, Grand Fuhr, you name it. Dynasty. Okay, Flyers go back to a cup in 1997 against Detroit. They get swept. They lose to Detroit, their first cup, 3 cups in 5 years. Maybe not a dynasty, pretty damn close. One of the great teams, greatest teams of that decade, the Detroit Red Wings, and the players they had. Then they go back to the cup in 2010. They lose to the Chicago Blackhawks. It's their first of 3 cups in 5 years. Modern day dynasty. I have never found a team in any of the other sports that got to that many finals and faced a dynasty every time. Now, does that excuse not having a cup in 50 years? No. League's different now, too. You can't buy your way to that like it was in the past pre-salary cap. Sometimes getting to the finals is about who you get when you get there, too. I remember in 2008 when the Phillies were going to the World Series and they got the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. You know, and then the Eagles, when they went to the Super Bowl that they ended up winning in the 2017, but the Super Bowl was in 2018. I was doing my radio show at the time with Harry Mays, and we were talking about, hey, who do we want to win the NFC to play the Eagles in the Super Bowl? Do we want the Patriots or do we want the Jacksonville Jaguars? My answer was, I want the Patriots. To be the champion, I want to beat the best. I don't want to beat the Jaguars. They're the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, now they would have earned their way there, and you would have done what you had to do. But to beat the Patriots meant more. So Flyers, in those 6 cup appearances, just ludicrous numbers of the opponents that they faced. So, Mikey, bone up on history. Let's deal in reality. That's what we do here on Flyers Daily. Dwayne said, a win is a win. Fight the good fight, my brother from Calgary. Thank you. We are fighting. Steven and another guy said, Grabowski said, don't know if I should scratch my watch or wind my butt. What a line. Didn't see that one coming. Mark says, once again, Fedotov plays well and stops 28 to 29 shots. Torts did not handle him properly. I'm going to have to really look at the goaltending situation this year because it's been one that I don't love how it's been handled. I didn't love the fact that there was 3 goalies here. I make no bones about it. I don't have a problem playing 3 goalies in a year when guys struggle because I don't believe in trotting guys out there if they're not getting the job done and looking for other solutions. But having 3 up here, I don't think is ideal. Raymond says, Philly transplant in Tampa. Someone has been showing Michkov a lot of videos of Nikita Kucherov. He's now doing a lot of the same moves and wrapping up the helpers. Plus, he's light years ahead of Kucherov at his age. I don't know if he's light years ahead. He is ahead. Kucherov did not get off to a flying start in the NHL, but has developed into an absolute dynamo. They are very similar in a lot of ways. They're a little different too. And we're gonna go through an email tomorrow that I got from our buddy Jared. He has once again sent me an email that is a Nobel Peace Prize winning email. Just incredible with data and facts. And we'll look at the comparison of Michkov and Kucherov and Michkov to some other players, including centers and prominent centers in the NHL. We'll have that interesting one tomorrow, and we'll have graphics for it and everything. It'll be fascinating. Creepy said, upvoted for the Star Wars reference from yesterday's episode. A couple more here real quick. Pumpkin King said, at this point, the Flyers will have to rely on other teams to lose around them to lose. Yeah, but those teams stink. They're going to lose. Or some of them are going to win. You know, you look at it last night. Teams that are in this situation with no pressure win games at the end of years like this. It happens. Stop trying to control exactly where they draft. It's crazy. Dean says, Jason, do you think that Torts had way too much focus on defense and didn't let the offense flow better? I know that the 3-game win streak is against lesser teams and their offense just seems better. Also, we still need a number 1 goalie. All of our goalies are backups, need a veteran. Last question, do you think if everything works out that the Flyers can ever give Carter Hart another chance in Philadelphia? Keep fighting cancer. # Jason Strong, Dean from Tampa, lifelong Flyers fan. Let's start with the Carter Hart part first. No, I think that ship has sailed on both sides. Focusing on defense in the beginning of the year, I don't think they always focus on structure. You always have to have defensive zone structure and neutral zone structure. That's never going to change, and that doesn't change with any coach. They all believe in that. I think Torts preached offense a lot more than people think, and transition offense and playing fast. He always talked about surfing forward, talking about Zamula not reacting quick enough to push the pace the other way in transition. So no, I think that they pushed for offense, but when you have so much attrition on the roster and not getting back equal or greater than replacements, you're going to see a team that's going to struggle, and that's what I think we've seen. The 3-game win streak to me is just pressure's off. Different coaches here playing out the string, teams playing loose. It's nothing more than that. We'll do one more here today. Ben said, hey, Jason, seems like you're feeling better. Question, if you can get to it, the talk from the front office to acquire the best, not the best available in mind. Would an offer sheet to Jake Ottinger be in the realm of possibilities, even if it's tiny? What would compensation look like for Jake Ottinger? Biggest hurdle here, in my opinion, is the player has to accept the offer sheet, while we could throw more money at him than Dallas. I'm not going to even read the rest. Jake Ottinger has already signed a massive extension. He signed it in the beginning of this season. He was going to be a restricted free agent after this year, but I think it was the first week of the season. He signed an 8-year, $66 million contract. So Jake Ottinger is not an option. And yeah, Dallas would have matched it. And obviously they would. Yeah, that's the thing with the offer sheet. You have to negotiate with their agent of the restricted player, and they have to accept it because if the team doesn't match it, they have to accept that they're not under contract. It has to be a negotiated contract. So there is that. All right, let's get to a couple of emails, and we'll wrap this one up. This potpourri episode. I got this from Andrew. Email. He emailed me at jason.myrtetus@gmail.com. He said, I have a brief question with a video clip. I'll explain the video clip. But I wanted to express my support for everything you're going through at the moment. I can't begin to understand how you feel, but your courage to be public and undoubtedly change and save lives. I learned that being in the Coast Guard that saving one life is worth using every asset at our disposal. You will undoubtedly save many lives by sharing your journey. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. He said, after the Phillies game, the home opener, I ran over to the Wells Fargo Center and wanted to get your take on something that Ivan Fedotov does frequently. He said, I know goalies have their ticks, but he constantly drops his head down when the play is in front of him. He said, I'll attach a video clip from last night, which he did, and you can see Fedotov moves from one side of the net, looks down, looks up. He said, is he checking position, fixing his mask, or is it just his tick? Thanks again for everything you do. You're an inspiration. Respectfully, Andrew. Yeah, every goalie has a lot of ticks. He does look down quite a bit at his feet. I think it is part reassurance of, okay, where am I in my net? What is my depth? Where am I in relationship to the trapezoid or the corners of the actual crease? And he does do that a lot. He does look down. It's not alarming to me at all. Goalies have many ways they do something similar. I actually broke out for the YouTube crowd. We got some gear for this one, and I'll show what goalies do to do that. Setting position at different points as you move around the crease and affirming your positioning, your depth, and your angle is very normal. There's a lot of ways to do it. He does the look down at his feet and uses the crease as a reference. A lot of goalies will use the back of their stick, the shaft of their stick back here, just to climb the post to give them some perception of their depth, how far they're out, where that net is in relation to their body, because the net doesn't move. You'll see on the back of a lot of goalie sticks, it looks like that, where it's got a ton of red on it. Why is it red? Because that's the paint from the post, from banging the post to constantly feel where you're at. A goalie will be down in his position, constantly banging it back on his post. You'll see goalies put their hands together all the times like this. Fedotov does this a lot as well. He's just resetting his body, making sure his gloves on tight. If he has to make a glove save, it doesn't go flying off. Everything feels good, feels tight to the body. It's just a way of resetting the body. A lot of times you'll look down just to see your positioning of your stick in relation to your feet. Those are all things that goalies do. You can call them a tick, you can call them a habit. You can call it reassurance for the goalie to know where he is in the net. All part of the equation, but nothing alarming about that. If it was as a play is happening, looking down and then having to reassess, it would be alarming, but that's not the case. So I don't think that is in particular anything to be alarmed about. So thanks for the email, Andrew. Can we get to one more? Do we have time for one more? Let's see how much time we've kind of gone in this episode already. We've already gone 23 minutes. Well, let's do one more. I can't wait to get to this one email from Jared, our emailer for tomorrow. You guys are going to love it. Let's do this one. We'll do a short one. Craig says, happy April Fool's Day and belated happy birthday to you. Yeah, I'm 53. You know, in the business that I am in broadcasting, not really in media anymore, a lot of the people that I worked with in the business over the years, they never like to disclose their age. I never understood that. Like, first of all, who cares how old you are, right? Like, I don't go, oh, I'm 53. That makes me better or not more knowledgeable. Doesn't mean anything. Some people just never like to disclose their actual age. I thought that was strange. Just a random thought. He said, great to see you back regularly on Flyers Daily, overcoming your chemo treatments. Take care of yourself, kick ass, and get ready for enjoying some fine spring weather. Certainly it's good to see the Flyers playing well, and I agree. They need to move forward with their rebuild. It'll be an interesting draft and offseason, so plenty for you to contemplate. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for the email, Craig. First of all, I do enjoy, like, when the warm weather comes in, it feels good and it's refreshing. Get back outdoors. So I haven't done a lot of that. But two things I do not take to very kindly. My favorite season is winter. I love winter. I love the cold. My winter was stolen from me because I'm sick. I've been in a cave in this studio, basically, is where I've been residing in my house. Obviously upstairs, with my family and everything as well. But I sleep down here, and when I'm being sick, my sleeping habits are very strange. Up all night sometimes because I had to sleep all day, whatever it might be. But a winter was taken from me. And in a lot of ways, because I started to really get sick at the end of September, early October, to a whole different level, an entire hockey season was taken from me. And I don't take kindly to that as well. So while spring and summer's here, and I'm going to use it to rehab and get stronger and fight this off so I can go into next season cancer-free and ready for another Flyers hockey season where they move forward. This one's been taken from me. I guess if you're going to take one, take this one. But I don't take kindly to that. So it's a bone I have to pick. It will be an interesting offseason. It will be an interesting draft. It will be an interesting free agency period, RFA period. It'll be interesting because they got to hire the coach. This is the first significant addition that Danny Briere will make. And it is an important decision to get right. So thanks, everybody, for your emails. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have either Nick Seeler or Jamie Drysdale tomorrow, maybe Brad Shaw. We're going to have the three of them before the end of this week, before the Flyers play again on Saturday against Montreal. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you're listening on the audio podcast forums. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Give it a big old roundhouse kick. Hit the notification bell and subscribe as well. And we'll talk to you tomorrow when we come back with a brand new Flyers Daily.